Tim,
What?
what is this?
This was my first introduction to this type of 100-ounce bar.
Tim, good to meet you, man.
It's good meeting you.
Love your videos.
I love your company.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for somebody to come in and make me an offer on my business.
No, I'm going to end this. I'm going to end this right now, Chase.
I think there's going to be a lot more in the economy and inflation and everything else that's going to be coming this way soon.
There's a guy next to me who's looking at eagles. I got to show this.
He wants imperfect.
Cull, circulated. Like I remember a guy named Yankee wanted early on.
He bought dozens of them from me. That's why I only have 20 for this guy.
I like bullion. I like, first of all, I don't like modern coins. So I would like Morgans and peace dollars. Oh. These are not as numismatic. These are for bullion purposes.
So you're more of a collector than a bullion stacker, right?
Yes, that's a fair analysis.
All right, cool. But you're still buying some Cull circulated eagles here, right?
I think that I don't think silver is going to appreciate in value, and I don't think gold is going to appreciate in value. I think the dollar is going to turn into shit. It's the inverse proportion. So you don't make money with this stuff. Maybe you just don't lose your shirt as quick. So
that may very well be.
I think that's a great assessment. People need to understand that it's not the price of silver and gold going up, it's the value of the dollar going down, right?
That's my analysis, although I've done projections, and it seems to me that the industrial use of silver is going to cause a real crunch, and COMEX and the London Exchange, they're getting raided. People are taking the gold out. They don't have enough to satisfy their demand for another 6 months. I think it's going to go into the toilet. But I'm happy to show you the projections, and if you want to get together sometime and talk about long-range forecasting, that's
wow. Thank you.
what I do. So,
you get much demand for this type of eagle, or maple, or any other?
More for the Morgan dollars, and they're absolutely gone.
They're gone.
Yeah, the last batch was 150. It took me 2 days to find 150.
Wow.
now this is a heartbreaking phenomenon which is going to occur. These are nice, crisp bills.
Yeah.
And I'm going to crumple them up so they don't stick together. And as a businessman, this is good business. And as a numismatist, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah, we'll have to count them by hand because they won't go through the machine like that.
Oh, no.
Well, there you go. There's only 3 there.
I can see that.
Thank you.
Easy to count, right?
Yeah.
SD Bullion.
Hey, Tim, good to meet you, man.
It's good meeting you.
Love your videos.
Yeah.
Big fans.
I love your company.
Yeah, thank you.
Because I never intended to get into this business at this level.
Oh.
And I'm waiting for somebody to come in and make me an offer on my business so I can get rid of
Whoa.
all this stuff.
That is not why you're here. No, you right?
No, we're not here
So
for
I
that.
thought I could.
And you got Cole here too.
Yeah,
Chief Operating Officer. Good to see you.
Hi,
Nice to
Cole.
meet you.
Nice
Finally,
meeting
big fan of all your videos.
So what brings you up here?
We're going to be right down the road. Can we just come by and meet Tim? Can we meet the famous Tim while we're in town? And I mean, this reminds me of kind of going back. So in 2009, I started buying scrap metal off the street. We had probably 600 square foot facility, or 600 square foot office. I mean, it was smaller than this. And we would buy coins. We didn't know what we were doing back then. And not SD Bullion. This was before, SD Bullion. But then I would go around to places just like this in Oklahoma City. You'd come in, they would look just like this, and I'd bring my gold coins, and we'd get cash, and we'd go on. So it's very nostalgic for me to step in, back into this world. And I really, really miss parts of this world. Like we just saw a guy come in, do the transaction where you get to talk to the people and deal with them face to face. Those pieces I definitely miss about being local and being on the ground.
That's one of the fun things about the business is you meet a lot of interesting people. I talk to very interesting people on the phone, as Yankee can attest, every day. And a lot of people who are my age, they may have a 401k or an IRA, and they just don't know what the future is going to bring. Yeah. And of course, I tell them, I have no idea either, but there's a lot of bad on the horizon. And with my experience in changing banks, I think there's going to be a lot more in the economy and inflation and everything else that's going to be coming this way soon. I'm not sure that we, just making a change in the presidency is going to fix everything. The powers think that if you're depositing a lot of cash in the bank, you must be doing something wrong. And that's as deep as they get into your business. They just don't care. They say, okay, well, you pile a lot of cash in you, so we're going to close your accounts.
When you start reading about these things, like I did in maybe my mid-20s, right? It's all, I've been doing it long enough now to where you start to see the inflation, you start to see the shrinking of the middle class, you start to see the war on cash. And when we were, we had, I think at our biggest, we had 3 shops, and we were going around, and we were with JP Morgan. And I remember they brought me and my partner in one day. They had a list, 4 pages or 6. It was a lot of questions about our business. And we had already kind of been warned at that point, different things around banks just in general. And so I remember we walked out of JP Morgan after answering that and said, we got to move. And we moved before they were able to, to do what they did to you. And so we went with the local regional bank there in Oklahoma and never had any issues. But it's just going to get worse and worse.
There's a dramatic difference between a local bank and a larger bank. And that is, in my case, there was absolutely no curiosity about my business. They don't know anything about it. I said, I have receipts for every dime that comes in this place. And I said, one of your people wants to come over and look at the receipts. You're welcome to do that anytime you want. And no interest. He said, well, why don't you send us your last 2 years of tax returns? I discussed that with a lawyer. And, his answer was, no, don't give anybody your tax returns. It's none of their damn business. So
That's good advice.
But there was no curiosity. And, I'm not going to send anybody to look at your receipts. We don't care. And if you're not going to give us the tax returns, well, we're just going to close your accounts. That was basically the attitude.
We were talking about customer service before SD Bullion showed up. The impression that people get of a coin shop dealer is not Tim Marschner of the coin and stamp shop. It is some curmudgeon old guy with an eyepiece on looking at some rare coin, and you walk in like I did in other coin shops, and I felt like I was an intrusion. Tim, is that what you have
that was my experience. I started collecting when I was probably 5 or 6 years old, and I had to go to a hobby shop because that was the only coin dealer within a 2-hour bike ride. And he got very excited when the model airplane guys came in. They all flew planes, went to a big field and fly their planes. But he couldn't care less about the kids and coins. I think he hated kids.
When did you open this shop?
33 years ago.
Okay. It's been here the whole time?
Well, it was a coin shop. It was operated by a fellow named Dominic Germana, and he had the coin and stamp shop up on Elm Street for probably 30 or 35 years before I bought the store. So it's been coin and stamp shop for probably almost 70 years. That's why it still is. Though we don't do a whole lot of stamps.
Next to none.
And I like to keeping the old name because it just looks like a small local place, and that's the way I like it. People love to write checks to coin and stamp shop. It makes them think like they're doing things with somebody they know. And
were you always in the coin business, or did you have a career?
No, my career was with IBM.
Okay.
And I hated to leave IBM because it was, I think, still the best company in the history of American business. My wife passed away when my kids were 2, 4, 6, and 8 in age.
Oh my gosh.
So my job changed. I realized immediately that's
your life changed.
It did. Yeah, everything changed. That was very stressful for a time, and then I decided, hey, you can either make this stressful or enjoy it. So I don't accept stress.
Yeah.
So my daughter says, I think you're losing about $1,000 on this sale. I said, yeah.
So this is my first time to definitely spend time in New Hampshire. What's the best thing about New Hampshire?
This is the live free or die state,
Yeah, you see that right when you come in.
right?
Yeah.
Right here in my pocket.
Okay. Yeah.
Constitutional carry, no permit needed. There's a lot of reasons. It's one of the safest states in the country for robberies, burglaries, assaults. We have no income tax. We have no state sales tax. Yep. We look at this stuff as real money. We don't tax the purchase of bullion. It's important. There's a lot of reasons why I think New Hampshire is
I haven't put anything out
You
yet.
got a lot of
What?
Trump stuff out here.
Oh, yeah.
Well, these are all gifts.
Okay. What's the furthest somebody's driven to come to your coin
I
shop?
guess it's Alaska, right?
Yeah. I think that Alaska visit was a flight.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
I don't think
that's
they
so
drove from
disappointing.
Alaska.
That's still pretty impressive.
Right. They
I thought
come.
he hitchhiked.
Yeah.
It started, I guess, about 3 years ago. I had a fellow show up from Texas,
Okay.
and he was a long haul trucker. He said, "I've been waiting for months to get something close to you." So he finally got a load that was going to Shrewsbury, Mass. I said, "Oh, Texas?" He said, "Yeah, I just drove up from Texas." I said, "Why?"
Tim from Mississippi came up. That's one of my more popular videos. He bought a lot of silver. Helped him
You
put it
helped
in his car.
The load that got, it was 4,000 ounces.
Oh wow.
And what do you do? Throw a moving blanket over it and take off?
Just take out. Yeah.
It's like a pilgrimage.
Yeah.
And when they walk through here sometimes, Chase, they feel like, I can't believe it. I'm actually here, right? Don't they give that kind of reaction?
Yeah. It looks much bigger online.
So these days, what's the most common product people are walking in here looking for?
Well, there's a huge traffic in American Eagles, Maple Leafs, in silver, and gold is. People are very sensitive to price rises in gold, and so when it goes up, or it went up to what 2162? That was high. There was nobody buying gold. They all switched to silver.
Yeah. Right.
And silver has been kept down forever. So, but all the usual stuff, anything from the U.S. Mint, Canadian Mint, has been popular. The volume of what we're selling in a certain product can change depending on who's on the product. We saw a difference.
Or what I'm after.
Or what Yankees after?
Yeah.
Whatever Yankees after,
Yeah,
yeah.
whatever I'm after.
Yeah, I had to. Thanks to you, I had to go get another bag of dimes.
People want whatever Yankees buying.
That's exactly right. He started buying dimes, and then every other customer is, "Well, I'm going to get some dimes before Yankee takes them all." The traffic is amazing, and turnover is crazy. I try to avoid the really high dollar commitments. It has not been very successful.
Okay.
I have 4 or 5 stacks of 10th ounce, quarter ounce, half ounce, 1 ounce, either proof or uncirculated. The ones that are uncirculated are MS70s, a whole stack of certified American Eagles that are probably going to be here for a while.
Wow.
Okay.
On the other hand, people who come to the door say, "Well, you have any 1 ounce American Eagles?" I say, "Yes, I do." And so they buy, one of those. And let's see, can I spend the rest of this if I get a half ounce? And so, I've got to have that stuff. And we run out of that all the time.
It is a learning experience, right? I mean, I remember when I first got in, it was in 2009 when silver, I remember gold went from 900 to 1900. Silver went all the way up to 50, and I got caught. Basically, some of the people out there that are on YouTube that I would not recommend listening to, to the moon. And so unfortunately, I was all in on precious metals back then, and I rode it from 50 all the way back down. I think silver went all the way back down to 11 or 13, and gold went all the way back down to 1100. That was painful. So I've there's an involvement. Back then I wasn't a stacker.
Right, you
I was a
viewed
speculator.
Yes, exactly. You view it differently now, don't you?
100%. It took me probably 8 years to understand where gold and silver really fits in your financial portfolio, your financial life. And sure, you can be a speculator. There's plenty of people that are commodity speculators that make money. I'm not one. I'm a saver. I'm a stacker. It's an inflation hedge at the end of the day. Yeah.
Both of you approach the bullion dealership like maybe on two sides of the same coin. You're an exclusive online bullion dealer. Can't walk into SD Bullion shop with cash and buy anything. You do that on the web, right? That's your model, your business model. Tim, you don't have an online presence. There's a lot of hoops you got to go through for that.
And they built a nice website for me. And the discussion that I had with the programmer was about sales tax.
Yeah.
And
It's brutal.
basically, if I sold one thing online, now I'm obligated to collect sales tax for, 43 different states.
Yeah.
And I just decided that's why do that? We have no sales tax here. I don't feel like collecting sales tax for some mismanaged state.
Going back to the sales tax, you have a lot of people that will use our depository for a similar situation. People that have local sales tax, they'll just store it in Michigan at our facility. Yankees
Do you
been
have
to several
sales
times.
tax there? Or, that's great.
Yep. So they don't have to pay sales tax, and yeah.
The whole idea of vaulting some of your gold and silver with a third party is a hot topic. I mean, really hot.
Trust me, we're of the if you don't hold it, you don't own it scenario.
Exactly, yes.
Scenario two, but what people, it's just I guess we're not communicating it correctly. You can't touch your IRA, you can't touch your 401k, but you can put it into physical precious metals, right? Yeah. And the industry that exists out there for gold and silver IRAs is just completely corrupt, and they prey on usually older people that do have a lot of money in their IRAs. They get on the radio, they get on the news, and they sell them very overpriced, very high premium, very high markup items. And it's like buying a car. As soon as they get done with the sell, they're already down 50% because of the premium that they paid. So SD Bullion has taken a stance for making a move to get into the IRA business. Remember, these are funds that you can't touch regardless, but you can put them in physical. And now a company like SD Bullion has a solution to where we're really leveling the playing field. The calls that we're getting on a regular basis now they'll just blow your mind.
Well, I'm getting a lot of older people. I mean, even older than I am, which is hard to believe. But the problems, nobody can explain to these people what they're supposed to do when they have to take a required minimum distribution. How do you handle that if your IRA is all gold?
You can just take it in physical. So you could just take 10 gold eagles if you wanted. Okay. And at that point, it's literally just, it's no different than buying it and taking delivery.
Just ship it.
Okay.
Yeah,
now,
it just gets shipped to you.
If you put, say, a tube of 20 gold eagles in your IRA, but you only need maybe you only need 2 coins to meet the minimum distribution. Can you take 2 coins that you put in there?
Yep.
Okay.
100%.
Because that has been a major point of confusion.
Okay.
And I'm not sure that everybody operates that way.
If you have a tube of 20 gold eagles and you want to, when you work it with SD Bullion IRA, since we own the depository and the vault, you just call us and we ship it, very quickly. Just like, almost, there's some paperwork that's got to be involved because it's an IRS distribution, right? Once that paperwork's filled out, then we get it shipped to you. When you work with another depository, they have to get the paperwork. They have to notify the depository that Tim needs his 2 gold eagles. On average, I've heard people tell me this is a 2 to 3 month process. Tyler actually had to. So Tyler moved all his stuff into our IRA business. Once we got set up, it took him 6 months.
Yeah, I know, right? It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, with it, I have an IRA, what's left of it, and my brokerage account at Schwab, and I have to sell something in that IRA before I transfer it to the brokerage account.
Right.
And I would much rather just transfer the stock.
Right. Take ownership of the stock.
Let me do that.
Yeah, it's cool that you can do that with physical.
Right, and I do think a hedge. Again, I'll come back to that. A portion doesn't have to be all your IRA, but to hedge against what we believe is coming, I think it's important that people have physical assets. Not a promise, not an ETF, but physical.
Yeah. We have so many people that are let's just take a pretty typical scenario, 65 plus or 70 plus, and they've accumulated $3, $4, $5 million over time in their retirement account, right? They're looking at what's going on in the world and saying, well, if I just take at least 10 to 20% and put it into physical, they sleep better at night.
Yeah. Right.
But some of the calls I'm getting, they said I can't get a straight answer from where my money is. I want those coins back, and I'm getting concerned because I have medical problems, and some of these people are giving them a runaround.
Tim, you mentioned something really in passing that's important I got to bring out. If you haven't gotten into an IRA, 401k, whatever, you need to think twice about it. How much are you willing to put into the markets at this point? If you already have one, especially if you're older, then you really do need to protect it, in my opinion, with some gold and silver. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is with a 401k that I had in my prior employer. I'm going to roll over at least a portion of that with SD Bullion. I'm going to document that entire process. I want to see it, and then when I'm 59 and a half, I'm going to start taking a distribution. I want to see it shipped to me as well because I want to hold it in my vault. So, Tim, how has your business grown over the last few years?
It actually turned into a perfect storm because I picked up, obviously when we started making videos, it picked up right away.
Right away.
But it's a 24-hour a day job now. And that's not bad, except that, I'm in here at 3 or 4 in the morning putting packages together.
That's bad. That's bad. This guy is working like
too much.
Way too much.
You're supposed to be in retirement, right?
No, he's not in retirement. He needs to cut back hours. I've talked to him about this.
Yeah, it's hard to do.
What is this?
What is which?
This black box I see right here.
This was my first introduction to this type of 100-ounce bar.
Oh my goodness!
Looks to me like something industrial.
Cole, can you give us your professional opinion on this?
Oh my God.
This, almost without fail, would probably sell for at least 50% of melt over. So like an $8 or $9 premium. You can't find things like this. People are going to be interested in buying silver. They're also going to be really interested in having a conversation about it. Like everyone in the shop right now is looking around, peeking over the shoulder. They want to see it. I want to see it. I want to look at it. I probably want to take it home. So I got to hold on to my wallet. Things like this are really cool. There's the value of dealing with anyone that's in a coin shop, buying stuff over the counter from the retail public. You just have really cool things like this come in all the time. So, I mean, it looks like there's a pi symbol. Pi maybe for the pyramid, just guessing here. Wow. Obviously 100 ounces, so we're trading at 25. This is probably a $3,300 bar. Maybe more.
300 more? Wow.
Maybe more.
Wow.
We'll see. I like the packaging too.
It's nothing like holding physical,
Nothing like it.
That's why I like going to the vault when I see you there from time to time, just to hold it.
Wow.
There's nothing like it.
They stopped producing these whenever they got out of the physical precious metal, like retail investor grade product, and they went all into industrial. So anything that has this hallmark on it and that's a struck bar wasn't made but at most recent, roughly 20, 25 years ago, if then. And so obviously there's a serial number on here. It's kind of faint. Comes in the individual plastic, which is actually a huge value add for people because they want to touch it and do exactly what we're doing and look at it. If you're having to sit there and dance with your fingers around the edge the whole time, it's a little bit of a tease.
So, would you buy that from Tim?
Okay, Monday was 18.
Absolutely, we would. We'd love to. Personally,
Personally, Cole, come on. How many are you going to buy?
I'm going to ask for a little bit of credit to be extended. We'll see. I think I have $30 cash on me for this trip up north, and I won't make it out of the store with it. I promise you that.
Thanks for coming in here. Cole, thank you too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks, Yankee, and thanks, Tim, for having us.
Thank you very much.
To meet
Appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
very much.
Appreciate it. Yankee, where's the magnet?
Wow.